just looking at this, it's clear that the market is going to completely freeze. So, in 3 months, the real estate market in almost all areas of South Korea is going to head in a completely negative direction. Hello, this is Kim Kyo-hyun from Richgo. In November, we asked real estate agents about market trends. The data was collected before the state of emergency. The market is expected to freeze. Real estate agents know the market best. But just looking at this, it's clear that the market is going to completely freeze. So, the people who know the current atmosphere and movements in the real estate market better than anyone else are the real estate agents.
But who are they right now?
You're looking at the market completely freezing in 3 months. If you look at this, moving to the left of the cross line means what? The sales outlook is getting worse, and if it's to the left of 100, it means prices are falling. And if you go up from this cross line, what does it mean if it's above 100? The rental prices going up, and if the direction is up, that means it's getting better. But if the direction is down, it means rental prices are getting worse. If it's below 100, then it's entering a decline. So, whether it's a decline or an increase is determined based on the 100 mark and whether the direction goes up or to the right or down and to the left will decide if it's going down. So, if you look here, this is the first quadrant, and this cross line divides it into the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. So, what does the first quadrant represent? Yes, that means both the sales prices and rental prices are rising. The second quadrant, it's right above, so it's to the left of 100. So, what does that mean? Sales are going to drop, but rentals are going to go up.
What does the quadrant represent?
Both sales and rental prices are falling.
What about fourth quadrant?
This is a region where sales prices are rising while rental prices are falling. So what do you see here? Wow, everything is completely pouring to the left like a shower of meteors, right?
What does mean?
The direction is all going to the left. In other words, everyone is expecting that sales prices are going to get worse, and except for Ulsan and Jeonbuk, everything else is quite a bit to the left of 100, right.
What does that mean?
Everyone is predicting that sales prices are going to drop. So, except for Ulsan and Jeonbuk, all regions across the country are being predicted by our real estate agents to see a drop in sales prices in 3 months. But the important thing is that it's not just the sales prices, even rental prices are going down. So, what about Gyeongbuk, Jeju, Daegu, Jeonnam, Gangwon, Busan, Daejeon, Gyeongnam, and Busan? This is all indicating what? All rental prices are going to drop now.
Why? It's below 100.
Daejeon is pretty much on the edge.
It's a pressure drop.
So, starting from Daejeon and Gyeongnam, prices are going to drop. Especially in regions like Jeju, Gyeongbuk, Daegu, Jeonnam, and Gangwon, it's expected that rental prices will definitely drop.
So, where is Seoul? So here's Seoul.
Back in October, Seoul was well above 100, but now it's dropped significantly below that, down to 94. It's falling rapidly. Let's take a look at the chart. So, it's been dropping like this. You can see it fell in November, and this figure is somewhat similar to last November. In December of last year, it dropped further, hitting the bottom, and then started to rise again from January. It might happen like that again next year. If you look, it started to rise from January, and then in 2022, it began to go up from February. So, it went up for about 2 months before dropping again. So, next year, it might rise for a couple of months in early next year, and then drop again in the second half, similar to the declines we saw in 2021 and 2022. In this sense, it looks like that's what we can expect. Anyway, this data is really important, so I do a broadcast with this data once a month. I think it would be great if everyone could keep an eye on this broadcast. Alright, next let's take a look at Gyeonggi-do. Gyeonggi-do is also quite a bit to the left, right?
It's above 100.
In other words, both sales and rental prices are heading in a really bad direction right now.
Incheon, the same.
So, right now, almost all regions are in really bad shape. So, the worst areas right now are Gyeongbuk, Jeju, Daegu, Jeonnam, Gangwon, Daejeon, and then Gyeongnam. Both sales and rental prices are expected to drop in these regions. Next, we have Busan, then Jeonbuk, followed by Seoul, Gyeonggi, Incheon, Sejong, and Gwangju. In these areas, rental prices are showing a slight increase, but sales prices are also expected to drop. Next, Jeonbuk gone up. So in Jeonbuk, rental prices are rising, but since it's shifted to the left, sales prices are dropping. Slightly to the left of 100, meaning it's a bit of a pressure drop. So Ulsan is the best, but what is Ulsan doing? Ulsan is still far behind, 100. So there's an increase in sales and an increase in rental prices. But the problem is that the direction is getting worse. So what happens if we keep going like this? Now Ulsan's sales prices could start to decline again. So sometimes when I read the comments, I get a bit surprised because there are people who say really ridiculous things. So they're just talking based on their own assumptions without any real evidence. Please, it's really important for us to understand the current situation based on facts. So I think we need to look at the data and the market. Based on this, it seems that in 3 months, the real estate market in almost all regions of South Korea is going to head in a completely negative direction. It's likely to follow a similar pattern. There might be a rebound at the end of this year or early next year. But then, what am I saying? I think the real estate market in 2025 is booming. To put it bluntly, it is considered as upper, middle, and lower level 4. So, while the first half of the year might not be too bad, I really want you to keep in mind that the second half could be quite risky. Right now, the real estate market in South Korea is surrounded by so much uncertainty that it's hard to predict which direction it's heading. There's a thick fog of confusion around it. That's why, even during times like this, we should still be happy. So, I hope everyone takes care of their health and has a happy end of the year and New Year. I also hope you can chat with those around you and share some kind words with each other, enjoying each day. Thank you!